This history of the bed is a gentle, sleep-safe space designed to help you drift off peacefully. Please don't listen while driving or performing any task that requires your full attention. The bed is one of the most familiar objects in your life. You return to it every night, often without thinking about the long history behind its quiet presence. Yet the bed is one of humanity's oldest companions, a place shaped by thousands of years of ingenuity, comfort, and care. It has evolved alongside us, adapting to our needs, our environments, and our dreams. Before we wander through that long history, take a moment to settle your breathing. Let your shoulders soften. Allow the weight of your body to be supported fully. As you rest, imagine the bed not just as furniture, but as a thread woven through human life. A place where people have recovered from illness, dreamed of futures, shared warmth, and found refuge from the world. Tonight, we'll explore how this simple object has changed across millennia, shaped by culture, comfort, and imagination. Let the story unfold slowly, like a soft blanket being drawn across your mind. The bed has always been more than a surface. It is a symbol of rest, a marker of home, and a quiet witness to the rhythms of human life. From the earliest shelters to modern bedrooms, it has been a constant companion, offering safety and softness in a world that can be unpredictable. As you sink deeper into your own bed, imagine the countless generations who have done the same. People who lived in caves, huts, palaces, cottages, and cities. People who slept on leaves, straw, feathers, wool, springs, and foam. People who dreamed of tomorrow, just as you do now. The bed connects us across time, reminding us that rest is universal. And so, with your breathing steady and your body supported, let us begin this gentle journey through the history of the bed. To understand the bed's origins, we step back tens of thousands of years into a world lit only by fire and starlight. Early humans sought rest wherever they could find shelter, caves, rock overhangs, or simple clearings. Their beds were made from what nature offered, layers of leaves, grasses, and animal skins arranged to soften the ground. Archaeologists have discovered ancient sleeping surfaces dating back around 77,000 years in South Africa. These early beds were crafted from bundled plant material, sometimes mixed with herbs that naturally repelled insects. Even then, people were thinking about comfort and safety, shaping their environment to create a place of calm. Picture those early sleeping spaces, the earthy scent rising from dried leaves, the faint warmth of a nearby fire, the quiet hum of night creatures. Rest was not just a necessity, it was a moment of vulnerability, and so these early beds became small sanctuaries. In some regions, people built raised platforms from branches to keep themselves off damp ground. These simple structures offered protection from insects and small animals. Even in prehistory, the idea of elevating the sleeping surface was emerging, a concept that would echo through thousands of years of bed design. Imagine lying on one of those early beds, the ground softened beneath you, the night sky stretching endlessly overhead, the gentle crackle of firewood, sleep arriving slowly, guided by the rhythms of nature. These early beds were not permanent fixtures. They were built, used, and rebuilt as people moved across landscapes. Yet the instinct behind them, the desire for comfort, warmth, and safety, remains unchanged. Even now, as you lie in your own bed, you share that ancient longing for rest. The earliest beds remind us that comfort is a timeless human need, one that has shaped our lives since the beginning. As human societies grew more complex, so did their beds. In ancient Egypt, the bed became a symbol of status and refinement. Instead of sleeping on the ground, Egyptians elevated their beds on wooden frames. This simple change transformed rest into something more deliberate and comfortable. These early raised beds were often made from carved wood, with woven leather or cord supporting the sleeper. Wealthier Egyptians added cushions, headrests, and decorative footboards. The desert air was dry and warm, so bedding remained light. Linen sheets, simple blankets, and smooth surfaces that stayed cool through the night. Imagine an Egyptian bedroom, soft lamplight flickering against plaster walls, a wooden bed frame casting long shadows, linen sheets rustling gently as someone settles in. The bed had become more than a place to sleep. It was a crafted object, shaped with intention. Egyptian beds were often surprisingly high, requiring small steps to climb onto. This height served practical purposes, keeping sleepers away from pests and allowing air to circulate beneath the frame. But it also created a sense of importance. The bed was a place of rest, but also a place of dignity. Even the poorest households used raised sleeping surfaces when possible, often made from simple wooden slats or woven reeds. The desire to lift the body from the ground was universal, a sign of humanity's growing relationship with comfort. In wealthier homes, beds were decorated with carvings of animals, symbols, and protective motifs. Linen sheets were prized for their softness and coolness. The bed was becoming a place of personal expression, shaped by culture and craftsmanship. As you imagine these ancient rooms, let the calm simplicity of linen and wood settle gently in your mind. In Mesopotamia, the cradle of early cities, beds continued to evolve. People began stuffing cloth sacks with wool, straw, or reeds, creating the earliest true mattresses. These were placed on wooden frames or directly on the floor, depending on wealth and space. Mattresses offered a new kind of comfort, softness that conformed to the body, warmth that lingered through cool nights, and a sense of separation from the hard earth. For the first time, sleep became something cushioned, something shaped around the sleeper. Homes in Mesopotamia were built from mud brick, with rooms arranged around courtyards. A mattress placed in a quiet corner became a personal retreat. The gentle rustle of reeds inside the mattress, the earthy smell of wool, and the muted sounds of city life outside created a soothing environment for rest. Some households used multiple layers of bedding, a bottom mattress for support, a softer top layer for comfort, and woven blankets for warmth. This layering technique would become a hallmark of bed design for centuries. Imagine lying on one of these early mattresses, the surface gently yielding beneath you, the faint scent of dried grasses, the coolness of stone walls around you. Sleep arriving as the city outside settles into its nighttime rhythm. Mesopotamian beds were practical, but they also reflected the growing complexity of urban life. People were beginning to think about comfort in new ways, shaping their sleeping spaces with intention. the mattress was becoming a central part of home life, a place where people could rest and recover from the demands of daily living. As you imagine these ancient rooms, let the softness of wool and straw settle gently in your thoughts. The ancient Greeks and Romans elevated the bed to an art form. Greek beds, known as clines, were used not only for sleeping but also for reclining during meals and conversation. They were crafted from wood or bronze, with woven supports and soft cushions. The Romans expanded on this idea, creating beds that were both functional and luxurious. Wealthy Romans slept on mattresses filled with feathers, wool, or hay scented with herbs. Bed frames were decorated with carvings, metalwork, and textiles dyed in rich colours. Imagine a Roman bedroom, a low, wide bed draped with soft fabrics. The faint aroma of lavender or rosemary rising from the mattress. The quiet glow of oil lamps. Sleep becoming an experience shaped by comfort, beauty, and personal preference. Roman homes often included multiple beds, one for daytime reclining, one for nighttime rest, and sometimes smaller beds for guests. The bed was becoming a versatile object, used for relaxation, conversation, and contemplation. Even in modest homes, people sought comfort. Straw mattresses were common, often topped with wool blankets. The idea of personal bedding, something chosen, maintained, and cherished, was becoming widespread. Roman mattresses were often layered, with softer materials on top and firmer ones beneath. This early understanding of support and cushioning would shape mattress design for centuries. As you imagine these ancient rooms, let the gentle glow of lamplight and the softness of woven fabrics settle into your thoughts. In medieval Europe, beds took on a new social role. Most people slept in simple wooden frames topped with straw mattresses. These mattresses were often stuffed with whatever material was available, straw, moss, or feathers if one was fortunate. Homes were small and warmth was precious. Families often slept together in the same bed, sharing heat during long winter nights. Curtains were added around beds to block drafts and create privacy. In wealthier homes, beds became grand structures, raised high off the ground and surrounded by heavy drapes. Picture a medieval bedchamber, a large wooden bed with carved posts, thick wool blankets layered for warmth, the soft crackle of a hearth fire nearby, sleep becoming communal, practical, and deeply tied to the rhythms of the seasons. In castles and manor houses, beds were symbols of status. They were often enormous, with embroidered fabrics, carved headboards, and canopies that created a sense of enclosure. Servants might sleep on smaller beds or pallets nearby, ready to assist if needed. Even in modest cottages, people took care with their bedding. Straw mattresses were fluffed and replaced regularly. Wool blankets were mended and passed down through generations. The bed was a central part of home life, a place where families gathered at the end of each day. Medieval beds were often shared not just by families but by travellers, guests, and even strangers in inns. Sleep was communal, shaped by necessity and tradition. As you imagine these medieval rooms, let the warmth of wool and the glow of firelight settle gently in your mind. During the Renaissance, the bed became a statement piece. Wealthy families invested in ornate bed frames, embroidered fabrics, and mattresses filled with down. The bedroom emerged as a distinct space, separate from communal living areas. Beds grew taller, often requiring steps to climb into. Canopies and curtains became elaborate, decorated with tassels, patterns, and rich colours. The bed was no longer just a place to sleep. It was a symbol of refinement, artistry, and personal identity. Imagine entering a Renaissance bedroom. Sunlight filtering through tall windows, a grand bed draped in velvet, the gentle scent of polished wood, rest becoming something private, something cherished. Mattresses improved significantly during this period. Down became a popular filling, offering a soft, cloud-like surface. Sheets were made from fine linen, carefully laundered and stored. Quilts and coverlets were often handmade, stitched with intricate patterns. The idea of the bedroom as a personal sanctuary was taking shape. People decorated their sleeping spaces with paintings, tapestries, and furniture chosen for comfort. Sleep was becoming an experience shaped by aesthetics as much as practicality. In wealthier homes, the bed was often the most valuable piece of furniture, passed down through generations. As you imagine these Renaissance rooms, let the richness of velvet and the softness of down settle gently in your thoughts. By the 17th and 18th centuries, beds were evolving rapidly. Metal bed frames began to appear, offering better support and reducing issues with pests. Mattresses improved too, with more consistent stuffing and stitched edges that held their shape. Featherbeds became popular, offering a soft, enveloping surface. People layered blankets, quilts, and sheets to create warmth and comfort tailored to the season. Sleep was becoming more personal, shaped by individual preference rather than necessity. Picture an early modern bedroom. A metal frame supporting a plump feather mattress, crisp linen sheets folded neatly, a quilt stitched with care. The bed becoming recognizably modern, a place designed for comfort above all else. In wealthier homes, beds were often the most expensive piece of furniture. They were passed down through generations, repaired and updated with new fabrics. The bed was becoming a long-term investment, something meant to last. Even in modest homes, people sought comfort. Straw mattresses were replaced more frequently. Wool blankets were cleaned and stored carefully. The idea of maintaining a comfortable sleeping environment was becoming widespread. Early modern beds often included curtains to block drafts and create warmth. As you imagine these early modern rooms, let the softness of featherbeds and the crispness of linen settle gently in your mind. The Industrial Revolution transformed the bed dramatically. Factories made it possible to produce metal frames, springs, and mattresses at scale. Coil spring mattresses emerged, offering support that adjusted to the sleeper's weight. Beds became more affordable, more consistent, and more comfortable. For the first time, people across different social classes could enjoy a good night's sleep on a well-made bed. Bedrooms became quieter, cleaner, and more private as homes improved. Imagine a Victorian bedroom, patterned wallpaper, a neatly made bed with a spring mattress, the soft glow of a gas lamp. Sleep becoming a daily ritual supported by technology and design. Mattress manufacturers began experimenting with new materials. Cotton batting, wool layers, and stitched covers created mattresses that were more durable and comfortable. Bed frames became simpler, with clean lines and sturdy construction. The idea of sleep hygiene emerged during this period. people began thinking about ventilation, cleanliness, and the importance of a comfortable sleeping environment. The bed was becoming part of a broader conversation about health and well-being. Victorian homes often included separate bedrooms for family members, reflecting changing ideas about privacy. As you imagine these Victorian rooms, let the gentle orderliness and the softness of spring mattresses settle into your thoughts. The 20th century brought innovation after innovation. Foam mattresses, latex, pocket springs, and eventually memory foam reshaped how people slept. Bed frames became simpler, lighter, and more adaptable to different styles of living. The idea of sleep as a health practice emerged. People began thinking about posture, support, and the science of rest. Mattresses were designed to reduce pressure points, regulate temperature, and support the spine. Picture a mid-century bedroom, clean lines, a supportive mattress, soft bedding chosen for comfort. The bed becoming a carefully engineered object designed to help people wake feeling restored. Waterbeds appeared in the 1960s and 70s, offering a novel sleeping experience. Adjustable beds became popular in hospitals and later in homes. The mattress industry expanded rapidly, offering choices tailored to different needs. By the late 20th century, memory foam revolutionized sleep. Developed from NASA technology, it offered a surface that conformed to the body, reducing pressure and improving comfort. The bed was becoming a personalized experience, shaped by science and innovation. As you imagine these modern rooms, let the smoothness of foam and the gentle support of springs settle into your thoughts. Today the bed is both familiar and endlessly varied. Some prefer firm support, others soft cushioning. Some choose minimalist frames, others upholstered headboards. Mattresses can be made from springs, foam, gel, latex, or hybrid combinations. Beds have become personal sanctuaries, places to read, rest, dream, and recharge. They are shaped by culture, technology, and individual preference. Yet, at their core, they remain what they have always been, a quiet refuge from the world. Imagine your own bed now. The gentle weight of blankets, the softness beneath you, the steady rhythm of your breathing. It is the latest chapter in a story thousands of years long. Modern mattresses often include multiple layers, cooling gels, supportive foams, breathable fabrics. Bed frames are designed for stability, style, and ease of assembly. Bedding has become an expression of personal taste, with endless choices in colour, texture, and material. The bed is now a place where people unwind from busy days, find comfort during difficult moments, and drift into sleep surrounded by softness. It is a space shaped by centuries of innovation, yet still deeply connected to the simple human need for rest. As you imagine your own bedroom, let the calm familiarity of your bed settle gently in your thoughts. As this journey through the history of the bed comes to a close, let your mind settle into stillness. You are resting in a long tradition of comfort, safety, and care, a lineage of sleepers stretching back through time. Feel the quiet around you. Feel the softness beneath you. Let your thoughts drift like feathers settling on a mattress. You are safe. You are supported. You are ready to drift into sleep. The bed has carried humanity through countless nights, offering rest in times of peace and refuge in times of difficulty. It has evolved from leaves and grasses to springs and foam, yet its purpose remains unchanged: to cradle the body, calm the mind, and welcome sleep. As you lie here now, you are part of that long story, a story of comfort, care, and quiet moments at the end of each day. Let your breathing slow, let your thoughts soften. Let the gentle weight of blankets anchor you in calm. You are ready to drift off, supported by the long history of the bed and the quiet comfort of your own. Thank you so much for sharing this quiet moment with me. If you'd like more bedtime stories like this, then please subscribe now. And if there's a topic you'd love to hear as you drift off, let me know in the comments. Sleep well and be safe.